Thank you all for coming. My name is Todd Courser. I'm running for state representative. I was raised on Fish Lake Road on a small farm. I've owned my business here for 12 years, and my background is accounting, taxation, and business regulation. And I'm trying to basically bring this election into focus the idea that we need to have a change in the way that our state looks at businesses. In reality right now, the problem is not between the state and the townships. The problem is between the state and the businesses, and the state has been strangling businesses, and we need to correct that situation. If we don't correct that situation, we won't have jobs, we won't have businesses started here, we won't bring down the foreclosure rate, and all the things that we want and cherish as Michigan residents, as far as our lifestyle, we won't have those things. And we have to correct that situation so that people see Michigan as a place to come back to, a place to start their businesses and raise their families. Thank you very much.
Risk of embarrassing my father here. I've been a lifelong Republican. A couple years ago, I was faced with a decision when my health insurance premiums were $1,200 a month, and I let my health insurance lapse. Shortly after I had a heart attack, spent a couple days in the hospital. I either had to pay the hospital $800 a month for the next 30 years or file bankruptcy. That's the choices I had. I've heard none of the candidates mention this. We all want to skirt the issue. But with all the layoffs, unemployment, I bet you every one of you guys know somebody who doesn't have health insurance. And all it takes is one time to the hospital and you're ruined financially. I'd like the candidates to address that issue.
Todd Courser.
I think that healthcare obviously is a difficult issue for a lot of Michigan families with the struggling economy. Myself, I pay for my own policy. It's about $225 a month, and I have a high deductible. I have to pay for an HSA account. Basically, the situation you're talking about is the reason that healthcare isn't affordable is because we have so many mandates. There's over 1,000, almost actually 2,000 mandates that every policy has to cover. You can't buy an a la carte policy for the things that you want to cover, like heart attack or other things like that. So that's the issue, is there's too much regulation.
Hello, my name is Terry Scott, and I have a question for all of the candidates, and that is, what are some of your ideas for making it better for businesses in the state of Michigan?
I think my background in accounting and taxation and business regulation, I've worked with several clients, business clients, that have moved their operations from here in Michigan down to the southern states. And we need to look at leveling our playing field. The regulatory requirements that are here for operating a business, they're the worst in the country. This is the worst spot in America to own a business or start a business. The MDT tax obviously is something that I work with constantly. And we need to take that situation where small businesses now are paying much more of the burden than the larger businesses in the state. So we need to do something about that, obviously, to move Michigan forward. Thank you.
My name is Jack Betts. I live in North Branch. I hear we talk about medical. We're talking about taxes. First of all, what I'd like to know, if you go into, as a state representative, let's deal with the real issue, is our U.S. senators and their ability to set and dictate and mandate how our jobs have left over the years. I'd like to know, how can you direct things at our U.S. senators to put them on the spot? Because with jobs brought back to this state, that's going to eliminate a lot of our problems with medical and the business tax. How are you going to have a business tax if there's no jobs to tax? So, I don't know. I just like to know, what can we do to stop the bleeding through our U.S. senators?
Good question.
Really, the Lansing legislature doesn't have anything to do with the state or the Senate in Washington, but really what we have to do in Lansing is make it to where we have a level playing field. with the other states. If you go down to Alabama, South Carolina, there's other states. I was just down in Alabama a couple months ago, and they're turning over dirt all over the place, building manufacturing facilities because they have a better program for winning work that was once up here, and that needs to change.
My name is Peg Whitton. I've heard some of you talk about bringing state money back to the local area. How do you intend to do that? Because the money has been cut and cut and cut to local governments from Lansing. Yet the mandates for things like immunizations, WIC, all of those services are still required to be met. How do you intend to bring money back locally?
I think what we really need to look at is what scope of government do we want to pay for. We can have health care if we want it, we just have to pay for it as citizens. I don't think that's the way that we want to have our government running. We want government to be small, we want it to be limited. We want to have a situation where people are taking responsibility for themselves, not looking to the nanny state, not looking to the government to provide all of these things. If you're waiting on the government to provide some things for you or to give you some things, you're going to wait a long time. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Pancala, Dryden, Michigan. I've heard each of the candidates speak very generally about evening the playing field and courting employers back to the state. I'd like to know from each of the candidates specifically what industries do you believe are good for Michigan, good for Lapeer County, and what would you plan to do to court those industries to our area?
And we'll begin with candidate Todd Courser.
Yeah, I think specifically on your question, the government shouldn't be in the position of picking winners and losers. You have to create a level playing field, look at the other states, what they're offering. We shouldn't have a situation here where basically it takes 6 months or a year or 2 years to get all the approvals to start your business. That's the situation here in Michigan. It almost seems intentional the way that they've destroyed our manufacturing base. People think they've all went to Mexico and China. Some of them have, but a real good portion of them went down south. And now we have our young people getting in U-Hauls with the education that we've paid for and going south to work at those places. And we need to change that. Obviously there needs to be some changes done to correct the regulatory issues that are in our state. And that's all my background. That's everything that I've done is in my life is to understand the regulatory issues that we have. And those things need to be addressed at the state level. And if we can correct some of that stuff, I think businesses will flow back naturally. We have some terrific people here. The answer doesn't really rely with us. I know we think that it does, the voters and the ballot box, but this country is founded on prayer and God's people moving. And I can get down there and I have the credentials and the accounting background and the taxation, the business regulation, and understand really the issues involved in the state. But if the doors aren't open in a way that they haven't been open before for our state and our legislature, if they're not open, then we're running into the same roadblocks that other people have. So I would just encourage you, those of you who are praying people, to certainly go before the Lord and pray for whoever the leader is, whoever the man is that's going to be chosen to go to Lansing, and ask that there's some open doors to correct the issues that are there. Thank you very much.